What up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? Hopefully, everything is going well in your world. Really quickly, before we get started today, I just want you guys to do me a favor. Chime in and let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're at home, say home. What city? If you're at work, say work. What city? For those of you guys who are catching this by replay, my name's Glenn P. Brooks Jr. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach. My wife and I put together a community called MAPS, Marriages and Parenting Successfully. And it's where we get the opportunity to grow with people of like mind, people who literally want to take their relationships to a completely different level. And we love working with couples, parents, even singles who are trying to position themselves to get married one day and to stay married. Let me tell you why that's so important for us. Sheri and I both have been married twice. And let me see what's going on here. Sound like okay, got it. No worries. So we both been married twice. I'm sorry, we both have been married before. She was married 3 times. I was married twice. Obviously, she's my second marriage. And one of the things that I have found out is that there are some secrets into making marriages work and making them last. Shout out to Sharon here in Hampton Roads. Got you. Carla in Atlanta at work. Todd. Cold and sunny at home in Hampton. I ain't mad at you, brother. At the crib in Atlanta. I love it. Guys, can y'all do me a huge favor? Can you share this out to someone? Give somebody a shout. Let them know that we're live. Go ahead. Them Turners, what's going on representing from the ATL? So I'm not going to hold you guys long. This is a lunch and learn. Cherie's on another call, and she couldn't be here with us today, so I'm going to ride solo. But I want you guys to know, by the way, if you're interested in jumping into our room, our coaching room, do me a favor and go over to www.glennpbrooksjr.com and sign up for a free discovery session. That's where we get the opportunity to connect with you and figure out if you're a match. And if you are, we'd love to invite you to become a part of our group coaching platform. Shout out to the MAPS community. If you're a part of that community, put hashtag MAPS rocks in the chat. Put hashtag MAPS rocks in the chat. So we're going to go ahead and go in. Appreciate everybody for jumping on. Rodney, good to see you working in DC. I love it. I want to go over a couple of things. And these things, guys, by the way, are going to sound really simple. And in a lot of ways, some of this stuff sounds like, duh, like really? Like who didn't know that? Here's what I'm going to submit to you. It's a difference between knowing something intellectually and being able to pull it off naturally or pragmatically. It's one thing to be taught a theory on how something works. It's another thing to be able to implement it and have it work for you. And I know that in my first marriage, I knew all the right things to do, but I could not execute them. I could not pull them off. Thus, it ended after 12 years. And maybe unlike some of you guys, I was pretty aware of some of the things I was, quote, supposed to do. But again, there's a difference between being aware and, again, being able to implement. So if you were here last week, put a 1 in the chat. If you were on with us, we're doing a lunch and learn series for the rest of this month. In January, I'm excited. We're going to be launching some new things. So y'all make sure, if you have not subscribed to the channel, definitely do that right now. But I'm talking about, want to kind of bring you up to speed if you weren't here last week. So last week, we went over one thing that I know for a fact, that if this is represented in your marriage or in any relationship, really, the chances of you growing that relationship to the next level are really, really high. And if you remember what that is, I want you to put that in the chat. If you remember and you were here last week, I want you to put that in the chat. Guys, I'm a coach. And when I come to the microphone, I don't come here to really entertain you, although I can be funny at times. I don't really mean to. But the truth is that I want to help you. I want to educate you. We all need some help. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a person like myself in my first marriage. I had a pastor. I had people who cared about me. I had people who certainly would give me advice, that kind of stuff. But I never had a coach, a person who could tell me what it was, give me a game plan, and hold me accountable to executing it. I didn't have that. And that's the biggest difference I think I see in so many relationships. They just don't have that entity or that kind of individual in their relationships that they're willing to be their transparent selves in front of. They're willing to be completely, oh, and I can sing. I forgot that part, Teresa. Please let them know. They don't know what it is. Y'all don't want to get me with my karaoke machine. Like, that's a whole nother talk. But anyway, so the point is that I never had anybody that could help me. And so when I learned the things that I teach in our coaching practice, I realized that for me, I'm like, bro, I wish I'd have known that years ago. So today I want to help you guys out. And for those of you guys who weren't on last week, I want to give you a cheat sheet. Last week, we said that the one thing that you needed in your relationship is emotional intelligence. Put that in the chat. Emotional intelligence. Put that in the chat. Emotional intelligence. If you're just intellectually smart and you're not emotionally smart, you will not be able to grow a relationship. See, because sometimes what you think and what you feel are completely different. Am I right? I know that's right. What you think, meaning you know the good to do, but you don't feel like it. You know what you should be thinking about or how you should be moving, but it's like, I don't know if I want to do that. Right? And so the question becomes, how do you marry the two? Hey, Octavius, good to see you. Thanks for sharing this out, guys. Please, again, share this out to as many people as you can, because we want people to really figure this out. I don't know about you, but I've been rich and I've been poor, and I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. Rich is better. I've been rich in relationships and I've been poor, and rich is better. Todd said, I know that's right. So today, I want to kind of break down emotional intelligence just a little bit, and then I'm going to go into what the thing you need to be putting on your list and figuring out how do you get this in your relationships so that you can grow. We're going to give you the second thing this week, and we'll give you the third subsequently next week, and so on and so forth. So emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence, just like it sounds, is your ability to engage people on an emotional level. Now, here's what most people don't understand. When you're talking about your EQ, your emotional quotient, it's made up of 4 separate things. Number 1, self-awareness. Put that in the chat. There are 4 components to emotional intelligence. Number 1 is self-awareness. Put that in the chat. Put that in the chat really quickly. I need y'all to interact and engage with me. Number 1 is self-awareness. Number 2 is self-management. Need y'all to write that down. Put that somewhere. Number 1 is self-awareness. Number 2 is self-management. Number 3 is social awareness. Appreciate that, Sharon. Number 3 is social awareness. And then number 4 is relationship management. I'm going to go over them again really quickly. Number 1 is self-awareness. Number 2 is self-management. Number 3 is social awareness. And then number 4 is relationship management. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here today, but I do want to give you guys sort of an overview, because if you don't understand this, what I'm about to say next may not make as much sense. Now, when we're talking about self-awareness, guys, that's your ability to accurately kind of determine where you are emotionally against the rest of the room, against everybody else in the room. In other words, you are self-aware. The spotlight is on you. You have the ability to actually see yourself. Self-awareness emotionally is all about being able to say, you know what, that's me. I did that. Self-awareness is that, oh, when I said this, I'm aware that hurt your feelings. Does that make sense? I'm aware. There are a ton of people who hurt other people's feelings. They're never aware of it because their self-awareness quotient is extremely low. Does that make sense? I appreciate that, Octavia. So I want you guys to understand that self-management, on the other hand, is being able to take something, being able to do something with the self-awareness. It's that part of you that says, you know what? Okay, now that I know I'm angry, how do I maneuver and not let it affect everyone else? Does that make sense? How do I manage myself? How do I take that emotion? I don't know if you've ever had these raw emotions where you just felt something come over you. I know some people I get to coach, anger just kind of creeps up on them like a temperature being turned up on a stove. They can feel it rising. Right? And unfortunately, they're not in a space where they know how to manage that. And so as a result, they generally will blow their stack over a period of time. So that's self-management. One of the things that I want you guys to understand is that it's one thing to know that something's off. It's another thing to do something about it. Number 3, social awareness. Social awareness, guys, really it's kind of interesting. I don't know if you've ever grown up with people who don't take social cues well. Like they don't pick up on social things. They don't pick up on the fact that, you should speak. You should say hello. You should say thank you. You should, and I'm literally skimming the surface. I'm not going deep today because I want to get to something else. But I want you to understand that social awkwardness, that whole idea that that should demand a response or that shouldn't demand a response. Picking up on the fact that he likes me. And it just goes completely over your head. It's like, really? Girl, he likes you. He's really in. Really? I'm going to tell you, most people who kind of go through that a lot, oftentimes it's because their social awareness is pretty low. And a lot of times you find that in intellectuals. You'll find that, and this is, again, something that I've discovered years and years of coaching, is my intellectual people generally are low on the spectrum when it comes to really being socially aware. Now, it's one thing to be socially aware. It's another thing to be able to manage that, and that's called relationship management. Being able to draw lines in a relationship, being able to observe boundaries, being able to say no and it really means no, being able to let your yes be yes and your no. Those kinds of things deal in relationship management. And again, I'm skimming the surface because I'm not going to be here very long, but I want to talk to you guys about something that all of these 4 things play into in relationships. Here's what I am going to submit to you guys, and I need y'all to hear this. If you're single and you would love to get married, I want you to put me in the chat. Now, that doesn't mean today. That means at some point in your life, you're single. And by the way, I'm defining single as you're not married. I'm not talking about, but I'm in a relationship. Just really quickly, are you single or not? If you are and you would desire to be married at some point in your life, put me in the chat. Let me tell you why I'm identifying you guys. Because I'm going to talk to you guys about something that I know is true for couples. And a lot of times singles will tune out on this part, but this is the part where I want you singles to lean into this part, because these are the kinds of things that you need to be able to tell and see, not only within yourself, but also in other people. Now, there is a secret to why some marriages are really, really happy. Anybody ever seen a person who's in a happy marriage? It's evident. Maybe you work with them. Maybe you're related to them. And every time you run across, it doesn't mean they don't go through their stuff, but in generally speaking, they're happy. They're happy in their marriage. Anybody ever see that? You can say, I've seen that. Put that in the chat. I've seen that. You've identified. Now, for all my cynical people, sometimes y'all are single. To me, I don't see no happy marriages. I don't know none for real. That's why I'm single, because I ain't fooling. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the person who sees this. And here's how you know when you see people who are happy. There's this thing in you that goes, oh. There's this thing that goes in you, even men. It's like, and that's dope. That's all right. I know for me, a lot of times it's when I see people serve each other. Let me tell you, let me show you, let me help you out. A sign that people are happy is that they willingly serve one another. When you find couples who are not happy in their relationship, I'm almost going to promise you're going to see flashes in the pan of them not wanting to serve each other. It doesn't mean they won't, but it means that they bring a whole lot of dragging their feet to the table when they really don't want. That shows, A, they don't like each other, and B, they're probably not really happy. So when you see happily married people, here's one of the things that I want to help you out. Number one, they're not smarter than you. They're not smarter than you. They're not richer than you necessarily. They are not psychologically more mature than you. They're not brilliant, more brilliant. You know, one of the things that they have that most people don't, and this is the thing that I want to drill down on today. They move with a positive attitude. Put that in the chat. This is where they're very different than most. If you ever drill down on, and I would invite you to talk to any couple that is happily married, one of the things that you're going to find out about them is that they have a very unique perspective on things. When I say unique, guys, I mean that their perspective seems to be really positive. And I'm going to submit this. It's not just what it seems, it really is. It is the perspective by which they see the trouble, the challenging times, the tough periods. They see that through the lens of a positive attitude. Now, one of the things that I will submit to you is that there are many people who do not have the ability to lean in and nurture an attitude. Here's what I'm also submit to you. Can I tell you the truth? Your attitude is your responsibility. Whether you believe it or not, you seeing the world the way you do is your own responsibility. And you have the power to take off the blinders and see the world as it really is. You also have the power to put back on things that causes you to see cloudy. People who are happily married, one of the things that I've noticed, and there are all kinds of statistics and studies that have actually proven this, and that is that they have a positive attitude. Think about it for a second. When you ask them, well, how did you make it this far? Especially my people who've been married 60, 70 years. And he'll say something like, well, I learned a long time ago, she's always right. Now, does that mean she's actually always right? Of course not, right? Of course not. But what it does mean is that that's the way he sees it. You know what? Because she's right, I'm not going to fuss with her. No, okay, babe, no problem. What else do you want? What else would you like me to do? She's wrong as two left shoes, right? But the truth of the matter is that he's going to let her have it. She may look at it like this. She may say, you know, I can tell you we've lasted 72 years. You know why? Because I always make him think he's in charge. Now, is he really in charge? Sometimes. Is he really not in charge? Sometimes. Does she have the ability to really make him believe that? Probably not. But she creates an environment that allows him to lead. And when that happens, he generally is going to step into this idea of empowerment. And he's going to feel like, you know what? I'm running things around here. And so therefore, and so that you're really clear, I don't have time to get into it, that's directly connected to the man's ego, or where that whole idea of you having to respect him comes from. See, one of the biggest mistakes most women make with men, and they don't realize that men need respect like they need air. And so when a man is feeling disrespected, I guarantee you he will withhold love. The flip side is true too, fellas. When a woman is not feeling loved, she will withhold respect. I need y'all to hear that. Octavia said, I'm learning. Listen, the relationship is absolutely more important than being right. Let me tell you why. Because if I have leaned in, and we're almost done here, if I've leaned into the idea, guys, and I need y'all to hear this, if marriage is meant to last forever, forever is a long time. If you get married in your 20s and forever is the rest of your life, that is a very long time. Whether you live to 50, 60, 70, 80, like 30, 40, 50 years is a long time here on this planet. If you find yourself not being able to let stuff go and deciding to let people have things, if you cannot figure out how to traffic with a very positive attitude, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. That's going to be a very, very long life. That's why most people quit. That's why most people throw in the towel, and that's why most marriages do not work. And the reason why, guys, let me help you out very clearly, is because people don't have the ability to press in and develop their mindset and develop the ability to see things from a positive perspective. They always see things from a negative bent. They always see the glass as half empty. They always see that the sky is falling. They always see, and then they will tell you, well, I'm just keeping it real. Nah, you're pessimistic. And it's okay. I'm not judging you, but I am saying it's not going to help your marriage grow. That I can promise you. Guys, every single Tuesday night, we meet with couples. We also meet with parents on a closed Zoom room, in a closed Zoom room. It's a coaching room inside of the MAPS Relationship Academy. We also meet with men on Wednesdays. We meet with singles on Thursdays. We even have a course for singles. It's called the Singles Intensive, where we will allow you at your own pace to go through that course and learn all the fundamental things that you need to do to position you to get married. If there's anything, any value that I've added and you'd like to know more information, do me a favor. Just simply go to www.glennpbrooksjr.com, and I promise you guys, there'll be a link there that will allow you to, if you're here on YouTube when you hear this, all you need to do is click in down below in the descriptions, and those links are there. I want you to sign up for a free discovery call. If you think that you would like to rock with our community, sign up for a free discovery call so that you can connect with us. We will be more than happy to set up an appointment for you so that you can we can see if we're a fit. At the end of the day, here's what I'm gonna promise you. We all need some help. The reason why Sheri and I are coming up on 22 years in a row is because there was a community there for us that helped us grow. We didn't do this by ourselves, y'all. And we loved Jesus then. We love him now. I loved Jesus in my first marriage. So people are telling me, they kill me. Well, you need God. And you're like, well, I had God the first time around. What happened? What happened was I wasn't doing no work. Nor did I have a community of people that could hold me accountable to executing and doing that work and therefore foster growth. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Matt, now you can return to your regularly scheduled program already in progress. It probably is your lunch. Y'all be good. Let's catch up. Love to connect with you. Check out the links in the description below or go to glennpbrooksjr.com. At the end of the day, here's what I know to be true. You can't get to any place of significance by yourself because we all need some help. I'll see the couples and the parents on our combined call tonight as we finish out this year on reflection. Y'all do not want to miss tonight's guest speaker. You're going to be blessed all over more than anywhere else. We'll see you guys tonight. For those in the MAPS Relationship Academy, for those that are not, click the link. Let's connect. Y'all be good. We'll talk soon.